Welcome to Sudz and Soul Therapy. We are going to make soap today as we discuss a mental health topic, trauma. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Tina, and at the age of 20 was my first bipolar occurrence. I have managed over the years to be proactive about my mental health. I have also learned to be my own advocate. Now, I'm not saying I have found the holy grail of staying out of the hospital. However, I have learned enough possible to help others, those who are new to their diagnosis and to veterans with their own mental health crisis. The fact that each person's diagnosis with a mental health illness, we can agree that each person's experience is unique to themselves. With that said, let's start making soap. Have you ever wondered how soap works when you start with a bar of soap and then add water, lather? There are these little molecules that become suspended and distributed into water rather than clinging onto your hands that allows the dirt and germs on skin and clothing and surfaces to be rinsed away with water. This is such a beautiful picture of what can happen to someone who is in their personal journey of healing and wholeness. Like trauma that has happened can make someone feel dirty or damaged and can go through a process of being clean and renewed and refreshed. There are 3 types of trauma: acute, chronic, and complex. Maybe you have heard of them, maybe not. Acute is a single incident example of a house fire experiencing a sudden death of a family member. Chronic is repeated prolonged domestic violence or abuse. And thirdly, complex, varied, and multiple traumatic events. If you are a human being, you have at least experienced acute trauma because life just happens and sometimes you can't control acute trauma. We also cannot control what other people do and the way that they treat us. I have personally experienced all 3 traumas in my life. If you have too, I am so sorry. My journey started at a young age of abuse and neglect and followed me in adulthood, leading me to do somewhat out of the character things. Trauma response can cause us to do and run into bad situations if not dealt with. I've decided to call on my Creator for help, not just once, but over and over again. At the point I thought I was so dirty I could never be cleaned up enough to be accepted by Him. But I realized that was a lie, because today I am here in my right mind and I am whole. What the enemy has meant for evil, God has turned around for good. Father, I pray for each person that's listening to this with their experience with a mental health problem or trauma. I pray that you will heal them and that you will lead them to a life and life more abundantly. In Yeshua's name, amen.